بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت وإذا العشار عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا البحار سجرت وإذا النفوس زوجت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس إنه لقول رسول كريم ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين مطاع ثم أمين وما صاحبكم بمجنون ولقد رآه بالأفق المبين وما هو على الغيب بضنين وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم فأين تذهبون إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين لمن شاء منكم أن يستقيم وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله رب العالمين.
Yo, what's up? Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me get a mic check real quick. Let me know. Reggie, what's up, bros? Assalamu alaikum. What's going on? Milan, the Mystic, Reflecto Sessions, Cool 322. What's up? Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me. Put it in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me before we get this party started. We good. Kimber L. Bay, we clear. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Happy Friday to you, man. Juma Mubarak, Shalom Shabbat, or as I say, Happy Friday, Nichols. Happy Friday to y'all, man. Man, Friday is for lovers. That's what I was told. That's what I was instructed on. Friday is for lovers. Yeah. Especially at sunset. Don't miss it. All right. Don't miss it. All right. What's the first and foremost business? What do? We say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Sallallahu Allah Muhammad and Sallallahu Allah Ali and all of the family that comes from right there. Profound spiritual insight is over there. If you know where to look, inshallah, you're able to really follow along in these series. They've been going on for a little bit over a year now. These Friday lectures and whatnot. I implore you to go back and just take a look at the lives. I'm talking about the live recordings. Even the shorts are really great. But if you can check out the live recordings, really go back and take a look at them. I think they're very profound, informational pieces, right? Yeah, let's just talk about it, So today's conversation is Muhammad Ali, Abraham Lincoln, and the Islamic-Russian Connect, or what we say Muhammad Ali, which is the prophetic name. Yes, as I hinted to in last week's conversation that we were going to touch on. Why was Muhammad Ali considered the GOAT? Yeah, why? All right. So let's connect these dots, right? But before we do, we have to really get into this history. Yeah, I know you might say no, but you tell me again. Well, you should be able to articulate this, especially those who are close to me. If I ask you a conversation about who is who and what happened, and you need to know this. This is important, okay? And so on the right hand side, what we know today as the Shia, they are from the family of the Prophet, yes, known as the Ahlul Bet. And then on the left hand side, who are now known as Sunnis, these people were about empires and dynasties. And the first two dynasties that were created after the death of the Prophet were the Umayyads and the Abbasids, and they became killers of the Prophet's family. This is a fact. This is a fact. And one thing you have to know is the Umayyads were a clan. Yes, they're a clan. And they are a clan under the Quraysh tribe, which is the same tribe that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is from. So you got a tribe, but under this tribe, you got clans. It's kind of like gang banging been happening forever, yo. So you can say you African American all you want to, you know what I'm saying? But when you can break African Americans up into GDs, BDs, Vice Lords, Crips, Bloods, and you know it's even subsects under that. You understand what I'm saying? This has always been taking place. Always. You can call it Jesus, you can call it Judas, you can call it whatever. You can call it the Pharisees and Sadducees, you can call it whatever you want to. See, that's the problem. The moment that you start to identify as something, as the famous Danish philosopher said, once you label me, you negate me. You find a reason to be in opposition with something. Okay? All right. So as we get into this, this is what we're going to see. If you go to the Quran, 49:14, the Arabs will say, we believe. And then the prophet is instructed, say, not you believe, but say we are Muslims. And faith has not yet entered your hearts. And the word, as you can see in 49:14, is we have submitted, which looks like what? As-salamana, almost very close to assalamu, or you see it right behind under it, assalamu, like assalamu alaikum. Yes. So we have submitted. What is the definition of a person who submits? A Muslim. That's why Muslim, Islam, and Salam, those three all have the same root word, all the same meaning. Yes. Now, obviously, if you put the ilm in front of one, it means one who has submitted, a Muslim. If you say as-salam, well, maybe this means giving peace, right? But they're all the same thing. Yes. So here is a group of people in the Quran called the Arabs. Yes. I don't like when in some English translations they say the Bedouins, as if they're talking to a specific group of Arabs. That's fine. But the Quran says Al-Arabu, which means the Arabs. The Arabs say we believe. But this is what you told. This is what the prophet is told. No. Don't say that you believe. Say that you submit or you are a Muslim because the faith has not yet entered your heart. So this is a very key passage because when you understand this from the Quranic standpoint, from this verse alone, it is almost, let me just keep flowing. It's almost disrespectful to call somebody a Muslim in comparison to being a real believer. Yes. Now, Muslim means a good thing in other verses for sure. But my point here in this verse, no. You're not a believer because the faith hasn't entered your heart. This is a group of people. These are Arabs. These are Muslims. These are Muslims. Okay? All right. So moving on, you'll see that here's a verse. They consider it a favor to you that they have accepted Islam. You see this? Here is a group of people that consider it a favor to the prophet that they have accepted Islam. What am I showing you so far? There are Muslims who are enemies to the prophet. Yes, that's what we see so far. They are enemies in Islam. Oh, this is going to get interesting. Okay, here's another verse. You thought that the messenger and the believers would never return to their families in your heart. Man, I almost cried when I saw this for the first time because I understood that I understand the history. The history is in the very beginning, before Islam was even accepted in Mecca, the Meccans fought the prophet and said, man, you better get up out of here with this Islam stuff. Get out. We ain't got nothing to do with this. So what happened? The prophet said, okay, we out. And where did he send the first group of the immediate believers? Ethiopia, aka Abyssinia. Ethiopia, y'all go 7 years before they go to Medina, where the city of Medina is the one who accepted the prophet. But I'm going to show you a verse where his enemies there too. Yes? So knowing that at the very, literally at the very revelation of the religion, you get met with opposition. And then you're going to have people who going to become Muslim because they just doing it as a favor to you. Yes? Or they going to say that they Muslim, they're going to say that they believers, but they really ain't believers. They just Muslims. They just going along to get along. And they enemies to you. And eventually they're going to end up killing your cousin and son-in-law. They're going to injure your daughter while she's pregnant and have her have a miscarriage. They're going to behead your grandson and poison the other grandson. And it's just going to keep on going and going and going. So to see this in the Quran, you thought that the messenger and the believers would never return to their families. That was a hurt piece. That hurt. I ain't gonna lie about it. That hurt. I see. This is the thing. You can call me soft, call me whatever. I don't understand how we can't feel. I guess it's empathy. But the Quran always opens up with what? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. All but one surah. Surah 9 doesn't do it. Right? And it's a very interesting story because you start to get into a lot of these enemies in Surah 9 as well. Right? No compassion, no mercy. Anyway, here's a verse. The day when their faces are turned about in the fire, they will say, oh, we wish we obeyed Allah and obeyed the messenger. And they will say, our Lord, indeed, we obeyed our chiefs and our great men, and they misled us from the way. Our Lord, give them double the punishment and curse them with a great curse. See, again, I said this last week, but I'm showing you this for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, here go a group of people who say they believe, they about to get this chastisement. They say, hey, listen, man, listen, God, man, we've been following our chiefs and these great men, but they led us astray. So can you please double their punishment? So when in the history did you stop following the Rasulullah, the messenger of Allah, and Allah, you started following chiefs and great men? It is called at the death of the prophet, certain people started following what you call caliphs, leaders, caliphs. Yes? Oh, no, we got to make it plain. You follow Abu Bakr. You follow Uthman. You follow Umar. You did these things. His history shows that you did these things because the Rasulullah, as I want to show you, gave a specific instruction. This is important. It ties into Ali, which is going to tie into Muhammad Ali. So bear with me, okay? Bear with me. We're going to connect it, okay? So here it is in Surah 9 that does not open up with the infamous Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. that says the Arabs are stronger in disbelief and hypocrisy. Now, you see in the English where they say Bedouins, but when you read the Arabic transliteration, what do it say? Al-Arabu, the Arabs, the Arabs. Don't say nothing about no Bedouins. The letter B is not here, okay? Not in the beginning. It's at the very end of the word for Arab, okay? Not Bedouins, yes? So the Arabs are stronger in disbelief in hypocrisy, yes? Telling you, listen, there are Muslims today, and I will say the overwhelmingly majority of the Muslims today can see this truth and still say something like, yeah, even though I know that's true, but I still all my life I grew up this way, or this is, and will give an excuse of why they will not pledge their allegiance to the family of the prophet. I'm not telling you to be Shia. I'm not saying that when I say this. I'm saying internally there has to be a decision that has to be made, because we could be in a gross error if we are not careful. Okay? All right. So let's move on. Here go 9-1-on-1. And among those around you of the Arabs are hypocrites, and also from the people of Medina, they have become accustomed to hypocrisy. You, O Muhammad, do not know them. We know them. We will punish them twice. Then they will be returned to a great punishment. So even when the Prophet Wali goes to Medina, there's a group of people in Medina who are Muslims, who are hypocrites. Yes? But the Prophet don't know this. He don't know them. You are in bed with your enemy and don't know it. That's a hurt piece. Oh, I'm going to show it. The betrayal was deep, man. It was deep. It was deep. O ye who believe, take not my enemies and yours as friends. The Wali. Offering them your love, your wadud, even though they have rejected the truth that has come to you. Stop right there. What does it say? O ye who believe. And it tell you, oh, you Muslim. It said if you a believer. Remember, I opened this up and showed you there is a difference between a Muslim and a believer. A believer has a higher status than a Muslim. One who knows for certain has a higher status than a believer. Oh, it's ranks. And this is why in the Quran, there is a chapter called ranks. Okay? This is a fact. All right? So now we saw, wait a minute. Here go people acting like they believe because they think they're doing a courtesy. Here go people that's like, people that are hypocrites that's among you and you don't even know who they are, O Prophet. Wow. So again, I'm going to show you that these are the Sunnis, because that's what he was talking about. I'm going to show you. I got to show you this. Oh, let's go back. Because right here it's going to tell you, you're going to be cursed. So, O ye who believe, take not their enemies as your friends, offering them your love, even though they have rejected the truth that has come to you, and have, on the contrary, driven out the prophet and yourself from your homes, simply because you believe in Allah the Lord. If ye have come out to strive in my way and seek God, or seek my good pleasure, take them not as friends, holding secret, basically conversations of love and friendship with them, for I know full and well what you conceal. Where's the one? Hold on. There's the one. Oh, at the bottom. There it is. What do it say at the very bottom? It says, if they gain dominance over you, they would be to you as enemies and extend against you their hands. They're going to hurt you with their hands. They're going to cut your head off. And their tongues with evil, and they wish you would disbelieve. Now, really ponder on this, ladies and gentlemen. there is a group of Muslims that if they gain dominance over you, they're going to be your enemies. They're going to hurt you with their hands and their mouth. And they really wish that you would disbelieve. That's there. Okay? Now, watch this. I'm telling you, it's going to be these Sunnis people, the Sunnis, right? Now, look. Was there not a public cursing to Imam Ali by the Umayyad rulers that lasts for approximately anywhere from 60 to 90 years? Muawiyah had instituted a public cursing of Ali. That is deep. That's deep. 60 to 90 years, they would curse Ali from the pulpit, as the church would say. The Quran said, these are your enemies. Yes? Now, this hurts because Ali was about 9, 10 years old, 9, 10, 11 years old in that pocket when he goes and stays with the Prophet. Yes? 9, 10 years old. He goes stays with the Prophet. So I'm lost here, ladies and gentlemen, on how you can say you Muslim, Umayyad, we know they ain't Muslim. The Umayyads was not that. Yes, they were. They were Muslim. They weren't believers. They correct. They was Muslim. They weren't believers. Right? I don't understand this. How Ali, as a little kid, is taken under the wing of the Prophet, and then somehow, some way, you decide that you're gonna curse him as he grew up. You're gonna curse him. Yes, it don't make sense to me. But read this. Watch this, because I know this. Was Muawiyah ascribed to the Prophet? Yes. Muawiyah became one of the Prophet's scribe after converting to Islam when Mecca was conquered. But he primarily wrote letters and documents for the Prophet, not the Quranic revelations, which were mainly recorded by others like Zayd ibn Thabit. While serving as a scribe was considered an honor, his main role in scripture preservation was writing correspondences, not transcribing revelations, which happened later. Ali was a scribe who wrote down the revelation. This is a fact. But here's my point, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a minute. Muawiyah coming to Islam in 630. The Prophet died in 632, just 2 years later. Number one. Number two, this is why history says he accepted Islam as a way because they just knew they was getting conquered. You can't beat them, join them. But the main thing is this, ladies and gentlemen, it was Muawiyah who went against Ali, but yet he was a scribe for the Prophet. Did not the Quran show us that, hey, here's some hypocrites amongst you. You don't know who they are. And I'm not saying the Prophet didn't understand Muawiyah because he did, right? But just showing you how this game works. It's treacherous. It's a treacherous game. So this man got on the inside. Okay? All right. So this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you what the Sunni source is going to show you. One, who is the family of Prophet Muhammad? Two, the instructions to hold fast to this family and you will not go astray. Number three, Ali appointed as authority over the people who has accepted the Prophet as their leader. Yes, if you accept the Prophet as your leader, then Ali is your leader. Number four, the Prophet Muhammad compares Ali to Prophet Aaron. And number five, Prophet Muhammad's ascension to the seventh heaven, he sees Aaron, who is likened to Ali, on the fifth heaven. All of these things are going to be in Sunni sources themselves. So let's get with the first one. Yes. The Prophet was at my home. He called Fatima al-Hassan and Hussein and placed them under the cloak. Then Ali came and placed him under the cloak too. The Prophet then supplicated, "Oh Allah, these are the people of my household. Remove impurity from them and purify them thoroughly." We just established in the Sunni hadiths, they say they have 6 canonical books that make up the canon of the Sunni law. That's what they say. Okay? All right. Trinity is one of their books. Yes? Okay. It's one of their books. All right. So here we see the explicit naming of the family. That's number one. Number two, I leave behind you two weighty things, the book of Allah and my family. If you hold fast to them, you will never go astray after me. This is found in Sahih Muslim, which means this is considered the top two. Sahih Muslim is number 2 in authenticity. They say Bukhari's first, Sahih Muslim is second. That's what they say. Well, here in your authentic hadith, you are admitting that the prophet said, hey, I leave behind two things. I leave the Quran and I leave my family. We just established who the family was. Now we got an instruction. Quran and my family. This is in Sunni hadith. Quran and my family. Quran and my family. Quran and my family. There's nothing else to talk about. There's nothing else to talk about. Because if I was in those times, absolutely, I would be following the family of the prophet and not no damn caliphs and these leaders. I'm not doing that if I truly believe. Okay? All right, let's keep moving. Now, on the left-hand side, what does it say? Let me blow this up on my side because I got stuff in the way. All right. Do I not have more authority over the believers? Look at this. Not Muslims, believers. Please keep that in mind when you're dealing with the conversation of Islam. A Muslim and a believer are not the same. Do I not have more authority over the believers than they have over themselves? They replied, yes, O Messenger of Allah. He then said, well, whoever I am his Mawla, then Ali is his Mawla. O Allah, befriend whoever befriends him and oppose whoever opposes him. This is reported, and I put these last three. Yes, but they said Tirmidhi, Al-Nasi, Ibn Majah. Well, here go the 6 canonical books in Sunni Islam. Number 4, number 5, and number 6 all have this hadith recorded as the prophet is saying Ali is their Mawla of the believers. Yes? Now, for some reason, this is Shaitan. The satanic Sunni, I should do a whole video called Satan Sunni. Right? Yes, the satanic Sunni has decided to say Mawla also means friend. And Prophet Muhammad, when he said this, he didn't mean that Ali was their leader. He just meant Ali was their friend. When the whole context of the conversation is about leadership, it opens up with, am I not your leader? And I have more authority over you? I am. I got that authority. Okay, then this guy right here now has your authority. Yes, has authority over you, right? How dare you debase the meaning and go for the lower meaning of the definition? You see how the devil is? That's nothing more than the devil. Nothing more. The opposing adversary. So here it is now. Where is this found in? Let me blow my screen up on my side. Is it not found in Sahih Bukhari, number 1, Sahih Muslim, number 2? You are to me as Aaron was to Moses. Oh, whoa, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron was a prophet. He may not have been the major prophet, depending how you look at it. To me, he was major because he was in charge of the Levites, and the Levites is the priesthood. They're the one that carried the Ark of the Covenant. They're the one that's giving you your entire religious festivals. When to pray, when Passover is, anything dealing with God and faith, that comes through the priesthood. That's a heavy charge. You the prophet. You ain't in charge of that. He in charge of that. There's a difference between the prophet and the imam. Yes? So the imam, rather, right? So the prophet and the imam, two totally different things. Yes? Okay, cool. We don't look at it that way. But maybe we need to. But nevertheless, you, O prophet, called Ali a prophet. That's what you did. Aaron was a prophet. Yes? Okay. Now, I find it interesting when we go to Sahih Bukhari, number 1, in Sunni authenticity. What do it say in the blue highlight? Then we ascended to the 5th heaven. We is Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, as you know him, and the prophet. Ascend to the 5th heaven. And again, the same questions and answers were exchanged as in the previous heaven. There I met and was greeted by who? Aaron, who said, "You are welcome, O brother and prophet." Then we ascended to the 6th heaven. And again, the same questions and answers were exchanged as in the previous heavens. There I met and greeted who? Moses. Wait a minute. In this hadith right here, you said, you talking to Ali, you are like Aaron to me, as Aaron was to Moses. So then when you go on your ascension, you saw Aaron on a 5th heaven. So Aaron was a prophet in the Old Testament. And in your personal journey, Aaron is on the 5th heaven. You said that, hey, Ali is the Mala, and you want to tell me Mala simply means friend, and Ali is not in charge in context of what that conversation we just saw said? You out of your rabbit mind. Come on, man. We can't be that slow. See, that's when the Quran said there's a disease in your heart. And you know what else the Quran says? There's nothing that you can do to get them to see. I said, oh, buddy, why did you do that? Why would you do that? Please don't do that. Change that. Please change that. This is dangerous, okay? All right, so now let's get into the conversation at hand, okay? Because, see, listen, ladies and gentlemen, what we just saw was a clear instruction was given from the prophet to the believers to follow Ali. I am telling you from the very beginning, anybody who knows basic Islamic history, there has been a war from the very beginning. Again, the prophet has a revelation in Mecca, in his home city, just like they did JC, Jesus Christ. Get out. Get out of here. No. Prophet's not respected in his own town. Get out. So there was a war. And there's always been a war. Always been. And I think what troubles me, to be honest about it, like this, you can see it today. You can see, wait a minute, these people are over here, these people are over here. The instructions was this, but the thing that really gets me is this. For the first time, this is the first time that I'm aware of where the prophet is leaving an instruction for the people, and the instructions was intercepted. Man, that's deep. And you live under it today. Meaning, if you are a Muslim or a believer and you say Ramadan, and like you live under this great divide today. And I'm just like, so which means we're affected by it. When the prophet was on his deathbed, he asked for pen and paper. Y'all can go look this up, and I showed it before. Umar, who would be Caliph number 2, leader number 2, yes, who was an enemy to the prophet at first, who slapped his own sister for reciting the Quran. Yeah, he slapped his own sister for reciting the Quran. That's deep, man. God dang, that's deep. That's deep. That blows my mind, man. Anyway, Umar denied giving the prophet pen and paper and basically said he's out of his mind. We got the Quran, that's all we need. And the wives of the prophet is upset as they should be. And then Umar starts arguing with the prophet. Wives, disrespect, the ultimate level of disrespect. I can't think of one thing more disrespectful. I can, but that's pretty disrespectful right there. Denies the prophet pen and paper. Type it in Google and see yourself. You deny the prophet pen and paper on his deathbed. What a coincidence. What a coincidence that at the death of the prophet, you just happen to be, you and one other person, Abu Bakr, y'all just so happen to be, but Umar specifically, you just so happen to be at this meeting where a vote is going to take place on who's going to lead the community. And the prophet is not even buried yet. Ali and Fatima is not there because they haven't even buried the prophet yet. And y'all talking about who's going to be the leader. And I'm so disappointed that the conversation, I haven't seen, the hadith doesn't say, wait a minute, everybody. Everybody calm down. Let's wait till we bury our prophet. And then we can talk about this later. There's no need to deal with leadership and succession right now. And the prophet is he's not even buried yet. And Ali and his daughter isn't even here. But no, the conversation don't say that. So Umar just so happened to be on the scene. Umar happened to be the one that comes and threatens to burn the house down if Ali don't come out and pledge his allegiance to Abu Bakr. Umar happens to be the one who forcefully tries to enter the house, and that incident of Fatima at the door that injures her and makes her have a miscarriage. It's Umar, the same guy who was the enemy to the prophet at first, the same guy who creates the calendar and changes the calendar where the prophet said in his farewell speech, beware of the disbelievers. He didn't say non-Muslims, he said disbelievers. Beware, the disbelievers are attempting to change the calendar. That's the Umar, Caliph number 2. You see the fuckery that has taken place? Yes? So now, speed it up all the way to early 19, I forget what year Muhammad Ali came into the Nation of Islam in the 1900s. Civil rights era of the United States of America. Islam has come to the West, and it's going to blow up under the Nation of Islam. There's other forms of Islam here, more science. There's Sunni Orthodox Islam here, but Nation of Islam is going to blow up, because this is going to be the one to say it's different. White man, devil. Yes. Black man, God. Yes, totally different. And so now you get Muhammad Ali. Yes, you get Muhammad Ali. Now, Muhammad Ali is considered the GOAT. And I'm going to ask y'all a question, and we can break out a calculator and do simple math. 56 wins, 5 losses, 0 draws, 37 wins coming by knockout. Yes. 56 plus 5 is what? 61. Yes. If you divide, what's that? 56 divided by 61 is the small number first to do this math correctly. This is money math. That's 91.8. Roughly, let's just round up and say that's 92%. Yes. He won 92% of his fights. He lost 8% of his fights. Okay. Right. Now, if you take his knockouts, which is what? 37, divided by his wins, which is 56. What's 37 divided by 56? I didn't say 56 about 37. You got to learn how to do math the other way sometimes. All right. To get the percentage wise. What's 37 divided by 56? That's 66%. So 66% of his wins is coming by knockout. I found it a little funny because I'm like, well, 66 is the numerical value of Allah. Yeah. A is 1, lam, 30, 30, half is 5. So that's 66. The numerical value of Allah is 66, and Ali's knockout percentage out of his wins is 66%. It's a little fun fact. It's a little fun. But surely his record, like Floyd, I think is what, 50-0? No losses, 100% win rate. Yes. So does Ali record make him the GOAT? Now, I personally think that neither one of them are the GOAT when it comes to boxing. Ali is the GOAT simply because the era of time, what he represent, what he stood against, him as a man. That's what makes him the GOAT. It's sort of like Tupac. We consider Tupac one of the GOATs, not because of lyrics, but because of the passion in what he stood for and spoke against, made him the like this Aquarian champion in a sense, the people's champ in a sense. Yes, the record itself, Ali don't say he the GOAT. Now, little fun fact for me, I personally think that when you're dealing with boxing, we can look at your wins and your losses, look at the percentage there, and then out of your wins, let's just look at what is the knockout ratio of your wins. Now, Floyd, 50-0. He said he the GOAT, but his knockouts is about half, 50%. So half the people he fight 10 fights, 5 gonna get knocked out, 5 going to a decision. I'm a personal fan of Marvelous Marvin Hagler from Jersey. Oh, he was a problem. It was a problem. He will win 9 out of 10 fights. So he's 90% in the win. He ain't 100% like Floyd. But out of those 9 fights that he win, guess what? 8 of them he put to sleep. I said, God damn, boy, you bad, bro. You win 9 fights and 8 people getting knocked out over your tenure? Oh my God, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. Phenomenal, in my opinion. Anyway, all right. So it's not the record that makes Ali the greatest. It's what he stood for that makes Ali the greatest. And the moral of the story here is real simple. It ain't really rocket science. The question is, why would God, or who we say, why would Allah allow Muhammad Ali in the time of racist America, civil rights era, right? Let me rephrase that. The racist South, because the North had already beat the South's behind, yes? And it don't mean it wasn't no racism up north. I'm not saying that. I'm just choosing to give credence to the Union because the Union won. And this is important to understand. So I'm going to say the racist South because the racist South started the Civil War. South Carolina did by firing the first shot at the Battle of Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina. They shot at a ship, a merchant ship, wasn't even a warship, a merchant ship carrying U.S. supplies called the Star of the West. Look into this. So why would Allah allow Muhammad Ali to be the one? Simply because he embodied the name Muhammad Ali, the prophet and the succession of the prophet. In other words, technically, this would be Shia Islam, technically, because they say Ali is the first Imam. He's the first Imam, rather. He's the first Imam, and which is a spiritual leader. Then it's the prophet above him. That's how it works over here in Shia Islam. Yes? So Muhammad Ali embodies the number one and number two principle, the prophet and the first imam. Yes? That's why. So that must mean then God wants us to look at this history and look at this story, look at what he embodied and see what is there. What is there? What is there? Okay? Let's keep moving. Right? Here it is. It's obvious. Muhammad Ali. It's obvious. Yes? Now, Muhammad Ali was named after his father, and his father, Cassius Marcellus Clay, was named after the abolitionist Cassius Marcellus Clay. Now, I'm a little bit of an American history enthusiast because I've known this for years, right? I like knowing who were the allies for the blacks in America during the time of racism. Who were the white men and women? Who were the white men who went against their fellow white man down south and said, nah, I don't identify with those values right there. So much so that I'm going to do something about it. And I'm willing to die about it too. Who were them? Who were they? So Cassius Clay, as you see, the father who names his son Muhammad Ali, Cassius Clay, is named after an abolitionist statesman from Kentucky. Let's look into Mr. Cassius Clay. Let me blow it up on my side. United States ambassador to who? Russia from 1863 to 1869. Born in Kentucky to a wealthy planter family, Clay entered politics in the 1830s and grew to support the abolitionist cause in the U.S., drawing ire from fellow Southerners. A founding member of the Republican Party in Kentucky, he was appointed by President Abraham Lincoln as the U.S. Minister to Russia. Clay is credited with influencing Russian support for the Union during the American Civil War. And I said, what Russian support to the American Civil War? What are you talking about? Because I didn't hear this. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. What do you mean, the Russian support for black people, the United States government to get black people out of slavery during the Civil War? What are you talking about, the Russian support? Yeah, I said, okay, you got to go down this rabbit hole. Yes? Let's read up on Clay a little bit more, though, because Clay was a gangster. Let's look at the very bottom paragraph. During the political debate in 1843, Clay survived his first assassination attempt by Sam Brown, a hired gunman. Jerking his Bowie knife out for retaliation, Clay happened to pull its silver-tipped scabbard over his heart. Brown's bullet struck the scabbard and embedded in the silver. Despite having been shot in the chest, Clay rushed Brown with his knife and splits Brown's nose in half from top to the bottom, left the ear dangling by a thread, and took out one eye before the men that hired Brown managed to throw him over a tall fence to keep Clay from finishing him off. Yes, Clay was a fighter. Clay tried to cut that man's head off, cut an ear off, cut an eye out, like he wasn't playing around, right? Now, at the very top, I don't want to skip this because I know how these emotional so-called Pan-African Negroes be. Cassius Clay was a member of the planter class who later became a prominent anti-slavery crusader. Clay worked towards emancipation both as Kentucky state representative and as an early member of the Republican Party. Clay manumitted several, but not all of his own slaves, according to this source on Wikipedia. You're going to say, oh, he was a slave man, brother. I said I wasn't going to curse this year. I already said the F-bomb today. Shut your ass up. Can I say that? I'll say it like that. See, this is where we have to learn as men. Women, I don't be talking to y'all when I get into this vein, but I want you as a woman to pay attention, because you should never really follow a man who believe in the idea of white supremacy. And the man, this is a man who sees another man as his Lord, and he don't know that he sees this man as his Lord, and this is dangerous. That's dangerous. It's the biggest mental, physical act of cowardice ever. Okay? All right. Because I'm telling you, I know a group of white people who came and smoked them white people who was absolutely your enemy. And I robbed with them. Okay? What we have to learn in the art of war is you're going to have people, in this case in slavery, who had slaves and then who introduced legislation and was willing to fight to get you out of that situation. It was the way it was the way it was. Slavery been around forever, ever. For real, for real. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about blacks having black slaves in Africa or in America. We don't want to talk about it. And I ain't gonna talk about it right now. All right. It's just obvious. All right. So anyway, Russia, as we know today, was known as the Russian Empire. Okay, and this is their flag. Very interesting. Kind of remind me of the Masonic 32nd and 33rd degree emblem. This is their flag. Okay, and here's a cartoon of Abraham Lincoln and the leader of Russia at the time, Alexander II. Okay. What's going on here? During the American Civil War, the Russian Empire under Tsar Alexander II formally supported the Union, dispatching naval fleets to New York and San Francisco in 1863 to deter British and French intervention. Viewing a strong U.S. as a geopolitical counterweight to their rivals, through Russia also sought safe ice-free ports for their navy and shared domestic challenges like serf emancipation and internal unrest with the U.S. The alliance, or this alliance based on mutual strategic interests, saw grand welcomes for Russian ships and solidified a friendship between the two nations despite their different governments. Yes? Hold on. In 1861, Russia's foreign minister declared support for the Union's preservation as an indivisible nation. In 1863, the arrival of Russian warships in New York and San Francisco was widely interpreted as a strong show of solidarity, discouraging European intervention on behalf of the Confederacy. So the Brits and the French at the time of the Civil War is just observing and looking how this is going to go. We have to understand that there could have been, and I'm sure it was, a thought that the French, the British, or anybody else could have said, let's go support the Confederacy and allow them to build their own nation. In the United States of America, as we know it, will be two nations: the Confederate States of America, the slave states, and then the United States of America. Yes? That could have happened. And who knows? We could possibly still have slavery today in the South. If that would have happened, that would have turned the tides. So one of the first rules in war was the Navy created what's called a blockade. It's actually called the Anaconda Plan. I wish I'd known I was going here with it, and I would have showed you this, but you can Google image American Civil War Anaconda Plan. And the goal was to, hold on, y'all, let me tell my son. I gotta call him back. Hold on, man. Hold on, y'all. Block the ports. We're going to block on the Atlantic Ocean. We're going to put Navy boats by South Carolina yes, by Georgia, by Florida, swing around into the Gulf, right? And we're going to block off the other side of Florida, closer to the Panhandle, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, block all that off. Why? Because we don't need the Confederacy, southern states getting any outside support from France, Britain, or anybody else via the Navy, them dropping off ammunition, supplies, or anything to this nation that we go into war with. Cut off all economic ties. See, war just ain't about bullets. It's about economics. Okay? So cut off all economic possibilities. See, that's how you beat them. Because see, the South didn't even have good boots. Listen, I studied the Civil War intensely. In 1863, I think it is, the Battle of Vicksburg, Mississippi, under the Confederate general who was heading that campaign, who was that? I want to say maybe Albert Johnston. The Confederate soldiers said, feed us or we gonna surrender. We hungry. If you can't feed us, we gonna surrender. Why you think William T. Sherman, my war general, the one who gave you the infamous 40 acres and the mule as a war order, special field order number 15, it wasn't a law, it was a military order that never became law, okay? Why you think they was tearing up the train tracks? That was a must. Tear the train tracks up. Telegram, tear the poles up. Cut off communication lines, cut off economic lines. And when you look at the zodiac wheel, I promise you, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. See, number one, first house is Aries, war. Number two is Taurus, money. Number three is communications, Gemini. Take the war and start tearing these things up, because war cannot really exist without finance. It can't exist without communications. You understand what I'm saying? So you tear the infrastructure down that supports the war. You understand that? All right. Okay. So now the Russians is on deck observing. If you feel froggy, French, France, Englishmen, the Brits, if you leave, because Abe Lincoln then hooked us up, Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, get it? Then hooked us up with the Russians. They say, hey, no. Jump in this if you want to. We're going to splat that ass. Okay? I said, oh, man, good looking, Abe. You gave us a Russian connect, nigga. What? Gave us the Russian connect? So what did it say? It said the Russians had sent a fleet where? To New York and San Francisco. So if you understand that green on the left-hand side is Alaska, that used to be Russia's. In fact, listen, when did America purchase Russia from the Alaska from the Russians? 1867. When is the Civil War over? 1865. 2 years after this, we go ahead and we say, Russia, go ahead and sell us Alaska, bro. We'll take that from you. They said, bet, here's the price that we want for it. Good money. Alaska is now part of the United States. If you know anything about geography, to the left of Alaska is what? Russia. So Russia is a very big continent, or country rather, yes? That from on this screen right here, from the left side known as the Baltic states, yes, they can travel this particular path and get to what's called the East Coast of America. They can also, which is coming over the Atlantic Ocean. Or they can go the other way at the end of Russia, what we would call the east side of Russia, I guess, right? And then they can travel over the Pacific Ocean and come to California and come that way. That's what they did. I said, wow, this is amazing. I wish the French, come on, French. The reason why Louisiana speaks, that the French was down there because the French owned that. And the French had slaves there. That wasn't an English colony, just like the Spanish had slaves at one point in time in certain colonies. Yes? All right. All right. So Abe Lincoln hooked us up with the Russian Connect. In other words, it really looks like this, ladies and gentlemen. Abe Lincoln hooked us up via Marcellus Clay. Yes? Cassius Marcellus Clay, which is now Muhammad Ali later, that continues. Think about this. Muhammad Ali is in the 1900s. Abraham Lincoln is in the 1800s. So the continuation of the fight, power to the people, the fight for black men, the rights of the black man and woman, Vietnam, we ain't going when you our own enemy here. That's Muhammad Ali, yes. It continued. This truth of injustice continued through Muhammad Ali. It's a continuation. It's a story. It's the spirit. It's like, boom, we give you this. Man, the spirit of Allah don't care about space and time, clearly. The truth would be here. Okay, this era is over. You gonna get this idea to name your child this person. It's how this is gonna work. And this is why the scripture says, and we sent the angel to Mary, and Mary gave birth to Jesus. Same thing with John the Baptist. The spirit or these angels keep coming to these women. Yes. It is talking about, listen, when we understand, I always use this example. When you go to that Netflix series on reincarnation, phenomenal series. Yes? Or not, it's not, that's a phenomenal series. It's actually, when you go to James Lingener, I think he may be in that story too. The World War II pilot, the little boy who had clear memories of being a World War II pilot. His mama named him James. But then when they started investigating what the little boy was seeing, and they went all the way to Japan, where the fleet was, when he saw himself as a World War II pilot, the pilot's name in his past life name was James. Same name. So in today's time, mom thinks she has an organic idea to name her son James. Maybe the father name is James. Who knows? Whatever the coincidence is, she gets the inclination he's going to be named James. Just to find out that your son has past life vivid memories and nightmares of being shot down. Now, gotta look at this story. It's one of the most beautiful stories I've ever seen, to look at the vastness of the human soul. Now, this is why I get off the Shia train, because the Shia train, they don't understand. The 12ers, they don't understand. They say, nah, reincarnation is not real. You out your mind. It's already research on this. And you can't say what Allah can and won't do. Especially you can't say what he can't do. Can't do that. You hear now what makes you think you're not here. Maybe I have to do a whole presentation on this, because it's in the Quran. We bring you to life. When we make you die, then we give you life again, and you come back to us again. Why you got two lives? What's the whole purpose of that? And why the hell do you need bones in the hereafter? You ever thought about that? Why do you need bones in the hereafter? You're missing something. You're totally missing something. Okay? So this is how the Spirit of God is moving to these mothers. Okay? All right. So you're going to name this boy Cassius Clay. The daddy. Oh, dad gets with a woman, and mom is like, you know what? I'm going to name him after you, Junior. Okay. Cassius Clay. All right, cool. No problem. So really all of this starts assuming that Muhammad Ali's grandmother named him, assuming, right? But it's always that spirit. It's just coming through. Mom and dad. All right. And so the legacy continues. Okay? Through the name. This is why names are very important. The legacy continues through the name. I'll say it one more time. The legacy continues through the name. I tell you all the time, when the attribute of Anpu was given to me, you think you wasn't going to be tested by death, and Anpu is Anubis that deals with death and understanding that. Okay. So here's a little fun thing, little fun fact. Last year, Abraham Lincoln had turned 216 years old, right? Last year. I'll show you a little fun thing we like to do. All right. And on February the 12th, which is his birthday last year, it happened to be a Leo new moon. And I said, hey, y'all, I'm going to show you how God works, right? Simply see Abraham Lincoln by the moon overlooking these lions that are roaring. That's it. Because it's a Leo full moon. If it's Aquarius and the moon is full, then that means the moon is over in Leo as the sun appears to be over in Aquarius. Okay. Side note, that also means if it is Aquarius season, then that must mean the earth is also in front of Leo. I'll tell you that part. Okay. So anyway, just see Abraham Lincoln looking over the lines. Just visualize this for a quick second. Yes. So a story had broke 2 days later on February the 14th that says Independence was not able to break out of their rough patch on Thursday as the team picked up their 10th straight loss. They was beaten by the Lincoln Lions, 55-20. Unfortunately, that's the second time they've come up short against the Lions this season, as they also lost their prior matchup 61-18. This is girls high school basketball. Independence defeat dropped their own record down to 2-16. You see that? 2-16. What did I tell you? What did I say? Happy birthday, because Abe was turning 216 years old. Yes? What did I say? The moon is in Leo, so just visualize Lincoln in the lion. And now Lincoln Lion defeats somebody, and then they record dropped down to 2-16 to match the number. You know why? What a coincidence. Look at 216 at the second entry from the top. What do it say? Ari, Lion, Leo. Hello. Don't be like those in the Quran and say, oh, this is but clever magic. This ain't got nothing to do with no magic. This is the power of prayer in the spirit of spirits, meaning we always hear it. Energy never dies. Yes, it only transforms. The current never dies. So the only thing we have to do is you learn how you really understood the cosmos. We really understood it. And then beautiful creations happen. Beautiful creations happen. And that's what I really like to show people in real time. That's why I call it in Hebrew, the Kavod Elohim, the glory of God. Okay? All right? So I'm going to switch gears a tad bit right here as we close out, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to show you a video too. This is important right here. The spiritual dimensions of money. Now, I got two pillars here. Yes? Because I'm going to show you, and I've showed before, on the left-hand side, there is the earth, which represents physicality. In the Masonic Mystery School, this is known as Boaz. The husband of Ruth in the Bible represents physicality. Excuse me. On the right-hand side is Yakin, known as the celestial pillar, the heavens. And that represents spirituality. So you got physicality and spirituality. These are two things that we have to really bridge and balance. When I say bridge, I'm talking about balance. Make the connection to. Yes? It's important because it's hard to be spiritual when you got financial pressure. For some reason, it is. It's understood. Yes? Go meditate them bills getting paid. Go pray them bills getting paid. And that can happen, but keep on doing it. Every single bill cycle. right? It can become a struggle. Yes. And we got to understand these principles. And this is what the Quran says. But seek through that which Allah has given you, the home of the hereafter, and yet do not forget your share of the world. Yes? And do good as Allah has done good to you, and desire not corruption in the land. So don't forget your share of the world. See, when I go to the masjid, they tell you, the dunya, get away from the dunya, the dunya. And I understand that. I understand what you get. But then the Quran says, hey, don't forget your share. And that's very interesting because the word share is actually a financial term. That actually should have been in our note, in our workbook. 25 homophones of love and money. Because you want a person that shares, right? That's a love term. I want to share my world with you. I want to share my life with you, right? I want to eat ice cream off the same spoon one day. You know what I'm saying? Share. But that's a financial term. Shares in stock, right? The Bible says it flat out this way. A feast is prepared for laughter, and wine makes life merry and joyful. But money is the answer to all things. Oh, it's heavy. That's heavy. Money is the answer to all things. Yes. That's what it says. So I'm going to show you something real quick, right? The Noble Eightfold Path to Real Estate, right? I'll show you. So I've been pulled back into the game, right? Never left the game. But mentally, I think I kind of checked out from real estate, to be honest about it. I'm in one of my houses that I got for free, right? And so I got to look at, what do you want me to do with this, right? So I got this house for free, had a tenant in it. The tenant died. And they was chain smokers. They smoked so bad. So that's what I'm actually in here doing now is cleaning the walls. The carpet was bad, had to tear all the carpet out, right? So the real estate folks, they don't show you behind the scenes when you got that bad hair day. They don't show you behind the scenes where, you know, some people they're like, hey, they pay for everything. Alhamdulillah, you know, all praises to God, you could pay for that, right? But I'm like, $1,100 to paint? No, me and family can get together and we can knock this out, right? And that's what we do, you know what I'm saying? Pay somebody to come and clean the walls, man, I better get my butt up and come clean these walls. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, I think what I'm gonna do for everybody is I'm actually gonna show y'all how to do this, right? It's been in the Patreon. I try not to push things on people. I just go organically, I really do. However, I'm gonna continue to go organically, but I am going to talk more about real estate for sure. That's why I got a whole real estate chat, right? So I've actually done it. These are checks over the years, literally 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, here go 25, well, this 24, here go 25. Like, I done it, and these are more than likely, some wholesale checks in the earlier years, then you got rental checks. All the wires that I got, all the cash apps are deposited straight to my account dealing with rentals and stuff. Way far exceeds, you know, these paper checks. Nobody gets paper checks anymore, right? But I do collect them, right? Just as a testament of what this space can do for you, okay? So anyway, go for it. That's the name of the game. Go for it. I'm behind the scenes doing what I gotta do. I gotta get to work because this is crazy, man. All this nicotine on the walls is crazy, but this is gonna be a beautiful process. And I'm gonna actually go down to my new construction project as well. We about to break ground on the second project, and I'm fighting like hell with the city to keep giving me my permit so I can get on a third project on new construction and whatnot. But anyway, Go for it. Whatever that is that you got, man, go for it. Okay. And if you think real estate could be of any help to you, and it absolutely can, I'm telling you, I got this house for free. I won't explain it today, but I'll explain it later and whatnot. How to get a free house, how to just get into this space where you are at. Man, you can get with me on a free consult, absolutely free on a consult, so I can assess where you at and tell you, yeah, we can absolutely make something happen, and then we can go from there. And it's only like $40 a month. There is a small little deposit to put down just to show that you're serious and whatnot, because I don't want to waste my time and whatnot. But $40 a month for real estate, somebody that's done the game, that's in the game. I done done all kind of deals. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll see y'all later, man. Go for it. Happy Monday. Okay. All right. All right. So yeah, we got to bridge this gap right here. It absolutely need to be bridged. Next week conversation. I want to talk about, what is that? Where that slide? I think I'm going to talk about the spiritual dimensions of money. I found some things out in history as far as Christianity goes. The Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, they never practiced. It was actually forbidden to practice charging interest. I said, astaghfirullah. What? Right? And that wasn't a thing. He like that. That's a no-no, especially in the Quran. That is a no-no, right? But we gotta talk about it. We gotta figure out this piece. Alhamdulillah, all praise is due to Allah. I was able to get into this space. I did take on interest. I did take on some loans, some refinances, construction loans even, and whatnot. But I see how, if you're not careful, and this is why exactly the financial mentor guru, even Dave Ramsey, he hated that. Dave Ramsey hated that. Grant Cardone, who I was more in favor of, man, it's good leverage. Good leverage simply meaning take a loan out on that house that you just saw. I got the house for free. The way I financed it, I got it for free. And the mortgage on it is now 12, 16, something like that, real low 1200s. It rented for 17 before the tenant passed away. I'll clean it up and I'm gonna rent it out. The goal is to get 2,000 off of it, right? So there's a profit margin there. It's a free house for me on the acquisition side. It cash flows. Is something that I don't think I'll ever sell. I actually want my son to live in that house. And then my grandson, his son is already over there right now. And I want him to be able to be like, yo, I remember as a kid being in this house and, lived in this house. And then it's something that can pass on from generation to generation, right? And not to mention one day it'd be some equity. It's already some equity there now, about $40,000-$50,000 worth of equity that's already in the house that I could pull out. But again, I'll be getting on the payment plan and there's interest that's involved in that. So trying to really understand the spiritual dynamics of money as far as interest rates goes, but then at the same time, how do you build wealth, right? So again, alhamdulillah, I've been able to get into the real estate space. It boosts my numbers up. Portfolio wise, called net worth. Net worth is great. I sacrificed some things, taking out more loans and stuff to get my equity on certain properties. I get to do a refinance, get this lump sum of money, and I sold one. Take the lump sum of money and then go over here and do new constructions because the payout is bigger. You understand what I'm saying? So been able to do that, and I just want to give back and share the information in the best way possible and whatnot. If you think that this is a space for you, you know what I mean? You really should get into it, but really understand it. And it's not rocket science to do. And you can get into this space with, the money has to come from somewhere, right? But I promise you, you can get into this space with $0. If you didn't have no money today, I mean, like not a penny. You know what I would recommend you do and how you can get started in this game, right? I would recommend that you look for vacant houses and you make a list of vacant houses, right? So you got a little bit of gas money. If you didn't have no car, Uber and walk the neighborhood. I've done it before, right? Walk in the neighborhood, right? And so I had transportation issues at the time. It's like, okay, I'm gonna catch an Uber over here and I'm gonna spend some of my day just walking up and down the streets. Walk up this street, go over, walk down, get to that street, go over, walk up, and just do that, right? Old school notebook, writing down the addresses that I see vacant, shabby looking, right? Then what you can do is go to the county auditor site, see who owns the house. So since it's vacant, let's just say nobody lives there because it's vacant, right? I'm talking about boarded up, bando vacant, right? See where the tax mailing address is. Once you see where the tax mailing address is, it should be going to another property because this is vacant. You see the person's name there, right? Then you can say, okay, let me kind of verify that this tax mailing address, that property right there also is in the same name of this vacant property. You understand that? So it's like, okay, so it is this person that owns this. Now, let me just take, because this is the little money you do have. You got money for an envelope. Do you know I made my first $15,000 in wholesale real estate by walking my son to school and seeing this vacant house? And I did just that, figured out her mailing address, went to the county auditor site, saw her mailing address. I got a yellow piece of paper and a red ink pen, and I said, "Hi, Miss Teresa. My name is Noble. I would love to buy your house. Gave the address, and I could pay all cash and underline cash twice with 2 underlines. Folded it up, put it in the mail, and mailed it to her. And that lady called me. She called me and said, "I will sell it to you for $50,000." I said, "Great." We closed in April because it was March. And I sent her a contract. We signed the contract for $50,000. I called my now realtor and developer realtor as well. And she said, "Yeah, I got you a buyer at 65." And she brought me a buyer for 65,000. I sent him a contract saying he'd pay 65,000 for my 50,000 contract, which means what? I make a $15,000 profit. Take both those contracts, the one with the seller and the one with my buyer, mail both of those in, email both of those over to the title company. He wires in the 65,000. The title company says, "Seller, Teresa, here's your 50,000. Noble, here's your 15,000. That was my first deal. I just wanted to make $5,000 on my first deal. It was on my vision board because I kept hearing about it. I said, "I want to try this. I'm gonna try. I got the concept down. I'm gonna try this." I tried it. I didn't go to no mastermind to learn it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Right? I didn't do none of that. I figured I got the concept down. That's all I got to do. Cool. Bam. Boom. Did it. Bam. 15 grand. That's what I would do if I didn't have no money. I would do that right there. And that's going to show if you got the desire to do it. Can you drive up and down the street, willing to walk up and down the streets, right? Paying attention to vacant properties, whatever the case may be, right? All right. So anyway, we're going to talk about the spiritual dimension of money, inshallah, next week. You can get with me in the Patreon. You can go over to the Patreon tab. You can see the real estate portion of what it is that I offer. Listen, man, these dudes is they smacking everybody for the money, and it's a money play, and it's all good, right? Now, for me, I done been through. I showed you the checks. I done a lot of real estate transactions. I can show you how to do these particular deals, right? Now, you just gotta have the faith in yourself. If you ain't got no faith in yourself, don't come bother me. Okay, I gotta be real about it because I'm one of those people. I wake up and I get on my thing. So if you ain't got the confidence, I don't bother me. Let me be honest with you. I'm not for you. I'm for the one that's like, yo, I'm willing to do this. I can do this, bro. We just simply, and I'm gonna walk you step through step. I'm not gonna overburden you. The way that I teach what is called the eightfold path. This eightfold path literally is not all of these different deals. All these deals you've seen I've done. I'm talking about what's step one. Step one is understanding, can you even do this particular transaction where you live at? You can. Now we're going to verify that you can. Step two, guess what step two is? Know your story. What is your story? See, you ain't ready to send these mailers out. If I call you and I say, yeah, you email, you send me some mail about my property, and I ask you, okay, so what you do? You gonna stutter? You gonna be nervous? You know what I'm saying? You got to know what your story is. So there's a little process that we need to go through that you need to understand before you send these mailers out. And it's very simple, ladies and gentlemen. It is very simple. Okay? It is very simple. All right. Majestic. I don't have whatchamajigga no more. I stopped paying for prop stream because I got out of real estate a little bit. I ain't gonna say I got out of it because I own properties and I'm building some stuff. I stopped actively looking for deals, so I stopped paying my prop stream. Astaghfirullah, maybe I need to say it. So I can't help you out on that. You got to get prop stream, man. Get prop stream. Get a free trial for a minute or something. You know what I mean? But I don't have it right now. You know what I mean? So I'm just sitting back and looking at how I'm about to maneuver and go forward, because there's some things that I need to take care of in this real estate space. So I'm being pulled back into the game again. All right. So if you need me, feel free, man, hit me up. Like I said, on my Calendly, when you come into the Patreon, there's a Calendly link, or y'all can just email me, nobleampu@gmail. You got a question, feel free. I love being of service. All right. So email me, nobleampu@gmail. If you're not in the Patreon, you got a question, I will answer your question. Hopefully it don't go to spam and whatnot. But I implore you, go to the Patreon, man, and get in it, get going and whatnot. Because I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna show you. Once I put my mind to it again, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm gonna show you. Just like this house was all messed up, and I'm about to remodel. In fact, I'm about to go buy the floors now. Right, I'm gonna show you, and this is actually giving me love for the game again. I'm like, I actually like redoing houses. One of my first dream jobs was I wanted to be an architect. You know what I mean? And to me, this is how I get it out, because I get to tell the architect what to do. Nope, I'm knocking this wall out. So this is my version of being an architect right here. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna share that with you. Okay. So feel free, hit me up if need be. We're gonna end this with the Ayatul Kursi, the one that destroys the negative energy, so we can go forward and prosper. Yes? All right, man. Get with me, and I appreciate y'all. Peace out.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم.